Hi, this is the True Blue Lounge. A lot of you are watching, but you won't subscribe. Please subscribe. Today, my special guest on the True Blue Lounge is Mr. Trevor Locke. He's a 1966 graduate of Mannings School. And without further ado, let's speak to Trevor. Trevor, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. This is going to be great. I'm really grateful for the fact that you decided to do this. I don't know you're from Adam, and I know we're gonna find some commonality. And you did criticize my supposed voting for Trump, so I'm gonna give you a chance to tell me what you find so odd about that very soon. But before we go on, remind me to ask you about that. So before we go on, we're just here to have some fun. I just want to get to know you, and so that other people that went to school with us can get to know you too. You know.
Okay.
So, what primary school did you go to, Trevor?
George is playing.
George's Plain. And whereabouts was that school? So we know George's Plain Crossroad from the Cabarita and no George's Plain. No, that's George's Plain.
Just the carburetor is through.
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, I'm too far now.
Yeah.
I know George's Plain, and I know there's a road from George's Plain go all the way to Amity. So say me come out to Amity and me come to that crossroad. Where you live from this, and the school
Well,
is.
well, the road that you turn off to go to Amity is you pass to Jane Marks.
Yes. Uh huh.
So that means you'll pass the school already.
Okay.
The school is right next to the St. Barnabas Church. Okay.
Is
But
that church
but
still around?
the church is still around, but the school is no longer there. The school is going further down, going on the straight.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And you're from George's Plain then, yeah?
No, I'm from Froome.
Okay. Okay. So whereabouts did you live in Frome?
Wow. I live when my father worked with Whisker, so we live on a Whisker property.
Oh, you were one of the fortunate ones.
Not really fortunate, considering the way
No, no,
if
no.
you work.
It's fortunate. It's fortunate. Come on, man.
No, no, no. To live on the Whisker property.
Uh huh.
Yeah, my parents were fortunate. At least they didn't have to pay rent.
There you go. There you go. Hey, when I was going to school, in I'm an '82 grad. When I was going to school, people that
Yeah,
lived on that property, they were very uppity. So, you know what
a
I
lot.
mean. It's all relative.
Yeah, but had they understand the situation with that property. Remember, Whisker had a lot of white guys that used to work there.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm going to give you one name, but how they operate. Levy was a senior engineer, and this white guy was a junior engineer.
Uh huh.
But the white guy have a bigger house than Levy, and he get more money than Levy. So that's how they were.
If only we had DEI them times, eh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
All
yeah.
right, all right. So you passed common entrance from George's Plain to go to Mannings, or was it because your father big Dan in a whisker in call a man and in call a man next thing you know you're in your short pants in a first form? Tell me how it go.
No, no, no. I didn't pass common entrance because I had an accident. I got hit in the left eye, so I could not do the exam.
Okay,
But
sorry to hear that, man.
but Mannings had an exam that they that we took, and a lot of people take that exam. And fortunately, or unfortunately for me, they placed me in second form instead of first form.
Okay, why?
Yeah,
Oh, you were advanced.
no, I scored good on that exam,
Okay, okay. So you're
so they
bright.
put me.
Okay.
No, not bright, but I was in second form with. That's what I said. Other students who were older than I am.
Right, right,
And
right.
it wasn't intimidated because I was the smallest one in the class.
Why? You do have situations where you have some high school kids going to university because they're savants and stuff and very, very bright. So I can imagine.
Yeah.
So how did you adjust?
Say that again.
How did you adjust being the
It took a
smallest,
while.
youngest as well?
It take a while, but you know,
You got there.
yeah, yeah.
So, fun question. When you were when you were in first form in Mannings, could you name
No, no,
five?
no. Never
Oh,
first
second
one.
form, second form, second form. Can you name five girls out of that class?
I could name. There were 28 of us, and I think I could do 20.
I mean, a 5 minute ask you for but let's go because guess what?
Okay, okay. I can give it. I can give it.
Cognitively, you're doing really good because some young
I,
people don't know them something. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's true. I could give Beverly Walker, Mae Edison, Enid Galab, Evelyn Galab, Beverly Sutherland, Lorna McGregor, Geraldine Miles. You want more?
Something wrong. Something wrong. Something wrong.
No, because
So
you're a
you
little boy looking up at the bigger girls, so you remember them.
so are you like this with other things with your memory?
Say that again.
Can you remember things very well? Is this typical?
Oh, yeah, I remember things very well. As a matter of fact, my brother is 4 years older than I am.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of things he keep coming to me to ask me. And I say, you're older than me. You should be telling me these things.
Wow, 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 wow. So
Yeah.
have you always had a better memory than your peers?
No, not a better memory than my peers. I've been exposed to things and,
Okay, okay. Now I'm just trying to see if you're on one of the special spectrums. Remember, say you go to school before time and or you pass exam, and scores with the bigger boys and things. So I'm just trying to figure out if you're special. All right.
uh, okay.
So what was typical? And I ask people, I always ask this because it's all about food. What's a typical lunch in second form for a young Trevor Locke?
Lunch.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
In those days, let me see. In second form, we started. We used to go by either Jackson Williams. You get cocoa bread and patty and soda. I always say aerated water. Or there's a lady that I don't remember her name right now, but I remember her daughter that had a cook shop and she used to make other things. Cocoa bread. She used to, what I used to like, she used to have the salt, fish, the onions and pepper and things like that. And the hard bread.
Wow, I'm learning something, and this may
Mm.
be a
Miss
shock to
Watson.
you.
That her name was Miss Watson. Okay.
See, even the lady name, I'm
Ah, okay.
I'm learning something from you, Trevor.
Yeah.
And it's an overall thing. Whenever I ask people what they used to eat, I didn't know this patty and cocoa bread thing was going on for so long.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I tell you something. When I used to ride from Frome to Sam, and whenever we pass a bunch of other kids going towards Frome, the first word come out there about Manning's cocoa bread.
Why is that? Because you guys could afford it or what?
Well, that's like, I don't know. Everybody used to like the cocoa bread, especially from those shops. You know.
Right, right.
Mm,
I don't know, because I would never say to anyone that when the time I spent in Jamaica, I was,
mm.
I was in any way destitute. But I have to say, I remember patty and cocoa bread being relatively expensive, and I remember enjoying dry bread and cheese, sauce of dry
Okay.
bread and cheese, and
Uh,
I don't know if a water we used to drink or we used to share a drink. I can't remember how it goes. So what I'm trying to say is in 1977, 78, 79, Jamaica was in a certain state with a dry bread, with a hot bread that was running the thing with, if we're lucky we get a piece of cheese.
uh,
You went in a time when money when I run and can buy all patty and cocoa bread and all them thing there, get protein and all kind of thing.
it's not that money was running. It was like 1 shilling would give you patty cocoa bread and uh, the soda.
Wow, wow, wow.
Mhm.
All right. So, Trevor, tell me something. Have you got any vices?
I could give you advice.
Okay, but no real
No, no,
vice.
I don't drink. I don't gamble. I don't smoke. Okay.
So Trevor, what is your outlet then?
What's my outlet? I'm into plants. What I do, I don't know if you have ever noticed that sometimes I post on Facebook my plants. I like plants, and I play my music.
You know,
So
so this is really good for me. So Trevor, sometimes I have to smoke a Jamaican cigar or
a
drink
split.
some rum. Yeah, or run going on my cupboard. I need to shout or get it out because life rough. And what are you saying
Yeah.
to me? You don't need none of them something there. So what?
No.
So when you need to
Yeah.
shout, what do you do? How do you curse bad word? What do you do that
No,
is
I don't curse. I don't curse either.
So how does Trevor get rid of the frustration that we all, the rage, every now and again we get rage? How you get rid of it?
Well, you keep calm, pray.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Well, before we, I'm gonna change things up again. How
Uh-huh.
does religion, if you're religious, that is, how does it help in your daily life?
Um,
Or does it? Maybe it doesn't.
yeah, because sometimes you think of those things that you the life you live and how you live your life and the people you're around. You know, because growing up, I actually say grew up in the church. We were Methodists, and as a young man growing up in school, church, my duties, maybe that's why I like plants, because I have to get the flowers for the vase in the church. So, we had different chores that we have to do as far as the church is concerned. So, mhm. But I used to hate it when we're ready to go home and we're going to take the vase up, and these other ladies come and they take two flowers out the vase. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, well,
So, so, I, so you pray regularly now?
yeah. I don't wear it on my sleeve, but I do.
So when you pray, you go on your knee and pray at night time before you go to bed. What kind of prayer you talk about?
I don't have to go on my knee. I can sit on the side of the bed, or I can sit in a chair and do it.
You clasp your hands and close your eyes and all them something there?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's interesting to hear. And in your mind, Trevor, you're actually someone's listening to you, or is it just
Uh,
ritualistic, meaning something you grew up doing and it doesn't hurt?
it doesn't hurt. And I, as some people say, you get your blessing.
Okay, okay. Do you want to be cremated or buried?
Buried.
And when we expire from this earth, where do you think we go?
Well, when they put you in the grave, I guess you stay there and you rest until the time comes.
Time comes for what?
Well, if you read the Bible before
you know, you know.
I know you're not into this, but you and
No,
another guy,
no, no, no,
you
no.
and
I'm
another
very
guy I see on the Mannings page, but
okay.
it
TJ.
happens. You don't believe, so you know
No, no, no. I really.
yeah.
Hey, how can I learn? How can I learn? I went to church too. I went
Well,
to the I went to the New
you can
Testament Church of God in Piper's Corner. That's near Amity.
okay. I know where that is. You
Uh,
can take a Bible and read. It helps.
okay.
But if you, I've known guys who were skeptical. Right now, they're big preachers.
Okay. So where do we? So what happens to us? What happens to us when we expire? We rot. If you're buried, you stay in your
That's the
coffin
body.
until.
That's the body. The spirit is not there. That's the body.
Okay. And what happens to the spirit?
Well, wait on the Lord.
Okay. Okay. You know, Trevor, one of these days I'm gonna get you on, and we're just gonna do a nice religion one, and I can delve and ask you, wait for him for how long and all kind of things, but we won't go there tonight.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all right. So let me ask you this much. When you left Mannings in '66, tell us about your from then till now in New York. What life was like for you, what sort of choices you done, career, and all that sort of stuff. If you will, please.
When I left Mannings, I got a job at Whisker, working in the lab. The cane farmers, you have testing, and I did that for three, 4 crops. Because of the crop, during the crop you work, you test cane. As a matter of fact, I was working in a section that is a cane farmers chemist section. And you know who my immediate supervisor, you should know him, a man named Aston Spence,
Okay. Okay.
past student of Mannings too. So
I seen the
I
name.
ended up working, with him for the first year. The next year, I got pushed around to the what did the cane yard was a cane yard supervisor. You supervise the tagging of the when the cane come in, you got to draw samples from the cane, send it to the lab, and and then you have a guy that work with you, and this is where you have to be strong because some of those cane farmers they bring the cane in, and when you reject it, if they're friendly with your boss, they go and try to talk to your boss and try to intimidate you. But you have to stand your ground because you have the cane farmers chemists there, and you have to be fair.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Okay.
After that, I remember I went to see Mr. Mead. He was the chemistry teacher at Mannings. It was like at that time now he was I think vice principal. And I was thinking of leaving, find a job somewhere else. So I went to him to get my recommendation. We didn't do resume at that time, and I got a job at Mannings as the lab. What do you call it now? The not lab attendant, but
Lab technician.
yeah, at Mannings. So I might set up the experiments for the general science teacher or the biology or you know lab attendant. I think that the title was. So that's what I did. I remember when GC, I have to set up all the laboratory equipment for the guys doing chemistry. They did the titration and anything like that. So
Wow.
and then I left Mannings. I went to Ministry of Transport. I work at the airport in Palisades, air traffic. I didn't do it for that long because quite a few guys who were there with me at that time, they were coming to the States to go to school. And I say to myself, maybe I should do the same thing because if I lose my job, I have no papers. So might as well I go to school and earn something. So I came here. I,
So was it easy
I
to get a visa them days?
it wasn't hard as long as I had the proper documents. I I got a guy an interview, and the guy was more interested in picking my brains and excited to see how I know these things, and because I did drafting, engineering drafting, so that's why I was coming to school to do that. And he wanted to know, I gotta explain to him all those things. He didn't even understand the blueprint and all those sort of things. And while here, I finished that the course was like 1 year, and I didn't want to go back to Jamaica so fast. So
Wow.
I got what do you call it, transfer, but a transfer from that to a different to college.
Okay.
And my lab man, I went to do medical technology, and that was it. I finished that, then I ended up working in a hospital here.
Okay.
Mm.
And you're in the New York.
In New York.
Okay. Nice. 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 So so what was nice is that you said you got a recommendation letter. My mind was going somewhere else. I was thinking, well, it's amazing these Mannings teachers were like mentors, because here's someone that's left Mannings, got a job, but still went back to Mannings to get advice. But
Yeah,
it was more of for the recommendation than the advice.
and a job. I got a job then.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
So, so what do you do now to for enjoyment? I mean, what are you doing now? Do you consult? Do you research? What do you do?
Well, no, I'm retired, so I do my music. I go places.
Okay,
Sometimes I take long drives, and
nice, nice.
because this the state is a big place.
Yes, yes.
Most of the time you go in the plane and get to another airport, you don't see what's on the ground.
Right.
Because if you drive from New York to Washington D.C. and you stop along the way,
Yes.
even though it's a long journey, I don't take the full journey. I stop little towns and like that,
Right.
walk around. Yeah,
In COVID, I drove from Dallas to Las Vegas
there you go.
because I couldn't. You know, in COVID, the house was coming in on me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had to get out. So no, I'm used to that. Love it, love it. Um, so how do you manage your mental health?
There you go again. If you read, you talk to friends, and that's what I do. You'll be surprised to know that someone I have a book that I use in college that I just pick it up just to read the book. Yeah,
If
so
you
that's
went
what I
to,
do. Keep
if
yourself
you
occupied.
okay, it's the, do you play board games like domino, chess, anything like that?
Yeah, when I go by a friend's place, we play dominoes. I don't really play chess. We might say checkers.
Okay, drafts. So
There you go.
so you have a nice kind of community of like-minded people.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, are they
Oh,
all
there are people who do different things.
right?
So just like we argue on the man's
Uh huh.
page,
Uh huh.
we do the same thing with our group.
Okay. Did
Some
you know?
some
Do you
people
know?
like,
Unlike most people, Trevor, I actually enjoy it. For me, that's like a chess game.
yeah,
I'll argue about anything. If you say up is me say down. If you say white, me say black. It's. I just believe that we have to be stimulating each other at all times. You know what I mean? As humans,
oh yeah,
because if we
oh yeah,
don't, we just stay in the cave. It's argument make we come out of the cave and see what go on. You know. So that's what I believe anyway.
yeah. We all don't agree on the same thing, but when it's all done, my friend might be cooking, so we're gonna eat and drink and whatever, and
Yeah.
that's how it is. Yeah,
Can you cook?
oh yeah.
So when you go to a restaurant, say you go to a nice upscale restaurant, what is your meal of choice?
It depends on what I feel for at the time. You probably hear of it. It's a nice Jamaican restaurant in Queens here, the Door.
Uh-huh.
They cook very well. You know,
And what do you have in there?
I like the escabeche fish,
Okay.
snapper. Mm.
With the bones in it, yeah?
I don't want no
Filet,
fillet
no?
fish,
All right. Hey, guess what? Hey, we
and
chat.
I eat the fish right there in the restaurant. Don't
Oh,
worry,
wow, wow, wow.
I'm not ashamed to eat the fish.
Eyes as well. Eyes as well. Oh man, man, man. So when you, what about drink of choice?
Anything without alcohol. I don't really drink sodas, you know, but maybe carrot juice. They make a nice ginger lemon.
Okay. So what did alcohol ever do to you, Trevor?
Hasn't done anything to why I don't like it.
Did you have an
I grew up.
experience when you were
I grew
younger?
up. I grew up. No, no, no. I grew up in a house that my father didn't drink. The most he might drink is like one beer, and that's it. Yeah. My brother, he claimed he might take one or two drinks. So that's it. I didn't have the really taste for it. The only time I really taste it really is like, if in the flu season, you get your Jamaican flu shot.
Okay.
You know what that is?
Rum and honey or something like that, yeah?
Rum, honey, and lime. And that works.
Okay. You see,
Mm.
they were your parents were a little bit mean. If they were dropping a little bit more rum in there, you'd have get feel like it.
Nah, no, no, no. I don't really have the stomach for it like that.
Right. Okay. Okay. So tell me about a time, Trevor, that you had a job that you really didn't like.
I Well, whiskey I like. When I was at Mannings, I like it. And here I like it. And my last job, I was 34 years, so I gotta like it.
Wow. Is it because you just have this outlook, Trevor, on life that makes it easy for you to like most of the jobs you've done? I mean, I've had some jobs that, you know, they get to a stage wherein my stomach used to hurt me every Sunday night
Stress.
before because you knew, whether it was the key performance indicators that you were judged on weren't met, and you knew they weren't met, and you were gonna look stupid or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think maybe part of the problem maybe the people you work with.
Okay, okay,
I
Trevor.
work everywhere I go. I work with a diverse group of people. As a matter of fact, now since I'm retired, every year we get together as a group of the past lab workers at this hospital in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And yeah, the same group or the younger people coming in now because they want to see what why we're like that. So we get together at a restaurant, dinner.
No, that's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice.
Mm.
Wow, wow. So, what you guys need to form is some sort of WhatsApp group so they can't argue with all the past black people in there, you know.
Yeah.
So Trevor, where do you come on this Thomas Manning school renaming argument? What side do you lean on?
Let it stay where it is.
Okay. How do you
I,
feel
I,
about people digging and wanting to know the history and all of them thing there? What does it matter?
it doesn't matter. They have their own opinion. They can say what they want to say, but there are things, as the one guy said, want to change Thomas Manning's name and you don't want to change your name. Because you get your name from a
A
bar
Scottish
land.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
uh,
Okay.
it,
Um, So, because your outlook is so good, this question for me is going to be this is going to be an interesting question. So, Trevor, describe a tough time in life for you and how you overcame it. And the
Oh,
reason and the reason I'm asking this is that you seem your outlook is always positive. You have no vices. You have a friend in the sky to pray to take care of things. You know what I mean? So you're very well rounded. So I just want to know about a dark time and how you overcame it.
most people might say when I lost my mother, because growing up in Jamaica, the mothers, even though you have a father, mother's the one who's always pushing you to go to school, to do this and to do that. So the mother was always like the one who was pushing you to do things,
Right.
and you know that was very tough because at the time I was here, she was in Jamaica, and I went down to visit, and a few weeks after you leave, you get the call. So that was tough. You know, yeah, I think about her all the time.
Wow.
Mhm.
So so how did you was there a lot of grieving for you trying to get over it, understand it?
Yeah, but you still do. But I say you get the Bible, you can read the Bible. Still,
So your hobbies is just the plants. Anything else? I'm trying to shake you, Trevor, to find out because I still think there's something you're doing because you seem too normal.
um, well, it depends on the type of friends you have. Yeah, and that helps. And as a matter of fact, I have friends that well, he's in California now, but we both came here the same year. As a matter of fact, we were both at the embassy the same time. But he was coming up to go to his mother, and I was coming up to go to school. And we did not exchange numbers at that time, but I was walking the street and I bumped into him. He was living 2 blocks away from me
Wow.
for 6 months. Yeah. And we, sometime when I moved to Brooklyn, most weekends I'm up in the Bronx by his place, with his mother could go too, so I don't mind going.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, but the friendship has been there from 1970.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
If you could meet someone living or dead, who would you want to meet?
that's easy. My mother, that's
Okay.
very easy.
What about your father?
Yeah, you too, but a distant second.
Aye.
No,
The men get no love, do they? Never get any
no,
love, you
no,
know.
no. He got this because he had to pay the school fee. He had to buy the bicycle for me to go to school. He has to buy the school uniform. He had to all that, provide the food and all that. So. But it's like most people seem to gravitate to the mother first. I don't despise the father. As a matter of fact, the mother is the one that do the discipline. And when she can't catch you, she said, wait until your father comes.
Wait till daddy gets
And the,
home.
and the father always said, boy, why don't you behave yourself? And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
So
So no beating for you?
the mother do more beating than the father.
Shoes or belt or piece of stick?
Belt. Now she's
Okay.
not using any stick. Belt.
See, I can tell you, I can see that you grew up in a certain household, you know. Some of we used to get switch and all them kind of
Oh, yeah.
things there. Some of us
Oh,
get
yeah.
fan belt. Some of us get electrical wire. Some of we get hose pipe. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm.
what's your favorite book?
Oh, I read a lot of books. My father used to have this bookcase with a lot of books, and he used to keep it locked. But the way the lock is, if you don't put the bolt in and you can pull the door, it comes right out. So I used to take his books and read. He used to read those Alistair MacLean, Iger Sanction, Where Eagles Dare, you
Okay.
know, those type of books. And he read Frankie Harvey. So, but I used to put the book in my book because I don't want him to see me reading his books.
Right, right.
And
And
so he came in and I was there and he came up behind me, but he smoked. And that's what I got away from this cigarette smoke.
are you?
I thought I was gonna get it. And he said, "Oh, you like those books?" I said, "Yeah." That was the last time he locked that bookcase.
Wow.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even realize, kids nowadays don't read the way we used to.
Oh yeah.
You
Mm.
know, I
Oh
remember
yeah.
sitting down and as a 8-year-old writing a letter to a girl. You know what I mean? And you make sure you're writing your best handwriting. Them days you
Yeah.
could make mistake if you use pen. It was unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
What
You
sort of
know,
movies do you watch or TV shows?
TV. Well, most of the time on TV, I'm watching the basketball or football or whatever time. But I watch right now. It's like the comedies.
Name some,
Mm,
man. I'll know. I watch TV too. Name some.
yeah. I,
Seinfeld. You're a Seinfeld man.
huh?
Seinfeld.
No, I don't. I don't watch him. I just like the Jeffersons. Are oh,
Oh, you watch black people on TV,
I,
not the other
no,
people.
no, no. I like my good friend Arch Bunker, man. That
Okay.
guy is hilarious, man. Yeah, you
Okay.
know. Yeah. But lately, I don't watch. I watch TV, but mostly my brother is into old movies, so he like to watch old western like Wagon Train and those sort of things. So
Okay.
yeah.
You mentioned a lot about music. So, what are you listening to when you talk about music? If you go in your car now, what is in the what's being played?
Go in my car now, you'll be playing the station WBGO from New Jersey, the jazz station. They play jazz. So
Do you
that's what
like
I have
any?
in my car.
Do you like any Jamaican music?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have a lot.
Like who? What are your favorite artists and what kind of vibe?
Ooh, well, I like Monty Alexander. I like Bob Marley. I like Byron Lee and the Dragonaires and to the older ones. Barris Hammond. I like Sanchez. You know, it's a mix.
And this is a weird one for you because of when you graduated. Do you know any of the dance hall artists?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, and which one
Bam
would you?
bam.
All right.
Yeah,
So which one
yeah,
would you
but
listen to?
I listen to I listen to Sister Nancy.
Okay.
I
Okay.
like Sister Nancy. I listen to well we listen to what you call it? I like uh
It's all right, I know say jazz you listen to, so it's gonna take you some time. Boy, I tell you.
no I listen to well this guy just died Coco T
Okay. Yep.
uh, um,
Okay.
mhm.
I tend to listen to a lot of new music. And when I say new,
Yeah,
the latest dancehall, because I believe um, a lot of the messaging tells me about the heartbeat of Jamaica. So I say all that to say this. Why is it that a man of your accomplishment chooses to live in the cold of New York and you're not sunning yourself in Jamaica on the veranda, making sure that your hard earned money moves around the pearl? Is there a reason for that, sir?
Not really. It's okay. The situation is now, I go back to Jamaica. I'm more like a stranger there than here
Okay. Uh huh.
because
That's that's fair.
a lot of my relatives have gone and move away, or they're going to meet the maker, or And then the thing about it is like my parents were from Cave. You know Cave Mountain.
Yeah, me know, Kev. In between
Okay,
Bluefields and Ferris, yeah?
right.
See
And
there?
I spent most of my life, the younger life, in Frome. So that's so far away from relatives. And so a lot of them I don't really know because I didn't grow up around them. Some I know. So when I go back now, I'm like a stranger. When I go and I don't, if I were the guy that like drink and thing like that, then I'll make more friends because you stop at the bar and you drink and
You
you know.
see?
Mm.
You see you mess up yourself. If only
No,
you'd
no,
like to a little rum,
no,
little bit of rum, you could have got a rum bar. You buy out the rum bar.
no. I go in South. I go to the Gazebo. It's a nice restaurant right in Dunbar's River.
Okay.
Yeah, not the other one that they think they can cook. They can't cook. I don't know, but still, the one by the
Where is Guangos?
Guangos. Okay. Guangos is the one going towards, it's right in Dunbar's going towards Smithfield. They can't cook.
Careful,
I went,
careful, here, Trevor. How you mean the people them can't cook? They could have been an
telling
off
you,
day, one off
I'm
day.
telling you, I went there one night, one evening, and I got the food, and it was a friend of mine. I couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat it. It was, because it wasn't properly cooked. So I asked the young lady, what, the chef is off tonight? She said, yes. She answered, she said, yes. Oh, food wasn't good. So I went back with a friend. She said, okay, I'm going to give you a second chance to do that. And I went back the second time, and that was it. I didn't go back since. I go, if you want a good meal to eat, I go to Gazebo, just across from the gas station over by Dunbar's River.
Okay.
They're very good. The ambience is nice. So, and
Nice, nice.
there's another place now right by just by behind Mannings. There was 7-Eleven or 7 something like that. A lot of younger people go there, but the food they're good too. Mm.
Okay. Um, Another question to try and get to know how you think is so do you believe that people of a certain color in the United States of America should vote the same way by proportional representation? And in saying that, do you believe if in Jamaica them say PMP are for poor people and JLP are for money people, people should align themselves accordingly
No,
because of their socioeconomic? Okay.
no,
So
because
why do I get such a hard time?
because, a lot of things people not thinking rationally. Everybody, we can't be monolithic society, and you vote according to the person that deliver what the things that you want, and
And there's another thing that where you're calling 77 million people dunce, or they're racist, or they're, you know what I mean? It just don't, those things don't resonate with me.
most people talk, but they don't know the history behind this because black people were original in the Republican Party. And the thing that got them over the top was during the New Deal. went to his 30s, when things were bad, it affected black more than anything else. And what the other thing that moved them forward during the 60s with the civil rights movement and the voting rights movement and things like that. So that's why black people leave the Republican Party and come to the Democrat, because the Democrat was, they were the one who was offering the things that benefited black. And but what happened? The Republicans, the co-op the civil rights thing and adding other things to it. So that's what happened.
Wow.
And
Well,
Ronald Reagan make the worst thing, because he came in with these things that in this country, black people and brown people are not the only one on welfare or food stamps. And remember, Reagan was cutting back and was forcing black people or brown people wanted to find a job to verify that they
they
get what
can
they
get
should
them.
get. Yeah.
Do you see anything wrong with that? I mean, in giving people the incentive to work for themselves rather than sit down and be dependent.
That's what you think it is, but it wasn't that, because
No, no, I'm
there were
asking. Hey, I'm asking. I'm just asking. I'm just here to learn, sir.
no, because I can tell you a fact that there were white people who were still getting their thing and weren't forced to
Benefits.
work or anything like that. Yeah,
Okay, but they wanted us to work.
yeah, and a lot of things that they were getting, because some of the people I work with, um, you ask them question, you're not getting this or you're not getting that. Oh, this is how you do to get this and how you do that. So the same thing with the welfare. They tell us how to do and how to beat the system. So yeah.
So,
It's-
so this other question is a back to Jamaica one again. So
yeah.
even though the cost of living in Jamaica is so low compared to, a big city in in New York, and the weather is so nice, and the people are so warm, and the food is so fresh, and your stress level, no racism, and you still wouldn't look at Jamaica as a place to retire. I need to know. Those are the questions that are burning on me, Trevor.
Okay. There are other things that go into the fact. A lot of people you said cost of living. If you're talking to a foreigner, the cost of living is better for them because their money can go more. But you're talking to the local Jamaican, they're gonna tell you no.
But I'm talking about you
Right?
going back now, You going back with the strong, strong US, the
Yeah.
pound them where you store up and the
And,
Canadian them.
and the thing about it is that I go back, and most people tell her that by the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they lock up in the house.
No. Hey, I have a friend live at Waterworks and he told me he could sleep with his doors open.
Uh, I have a friend who has an uncle up in Hardo. Came out from England and said he's gonna go to the pub with his friends. The second night they held him up in the pub.
Hey, and here you are, you as a black man jumping in your car, traveling 1,000 miles, and stopping off at these little cities that you don't, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
and what is called home to us supposedly is a place where you're targeted, even as an elder.
yeah, and that plus the health system is why some people don't want to do that, because heaven forbid if, like, say my relatives up in Cape and you don't have someone in the car and you got sick, and by the time you get to Salmar Clinic, you're gone. The hospital, I mean to say, not
Yeah,
clinic.
clinic. Hey, just call 119. Call 119. You know.
Not gonna help because
Well,
they're gonna take 2 days to get up to where you are. Oh yeah.
well, it
So if
takes
you can't get,
it takes cash to care. I'm told by my Jamaican friends.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
talk about Savlamar Hospital. I thought Westmoreland was a very what's it called? PMP. Those are the orange people? Yeah, very PMP type of area. And I heard the
Yeah.
PMP had a hold of Jamaica for 18 and a half years. I'm just wondering why they didn't fix the hospital at least.
Well, I don't know about that, but I I'm not privy to the way they operated the fixing hospital. But I'll tell you something. We had a group here in Brooklyn. We call it that's the help. We say send things to the hospital and send a container of stuff, wheelchair, beds, um, bed linen, and all those stuff. But a lot of those stuff disappear. We had an issue where there's a young lady that worked at a company that had dialysis machine, and we were upbeat about that because Savamar Hospital didn't have any dialysis machine, and people have to go to Montego Bay to for dialysis. So the people here approached them about because they could get the dialysis machine, and they were told they don't have the infrastructure for that.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, that's the thing that you offer aid, and it's like they don't need your aid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and it's the mismanagement.
Oh yeah,
It's
and that,
like you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It's
yeah,
it's. I remember me and some friends that are in the 82 group that went to Unity School. We heard that there was a lots of children not going to school without breakfast. So
yeah,
everybody was running down man in school, this man in school, need. But the little school, Unity School, the girls' bathroom here, the toilet now have no lid on it, the door no door on it or whatever.
yeah,
And so I reached out to the principal, and then she said she had to speak to a board. Remember, we're trying to give to them, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't know nothing great. If we can get a man cook little cornmeal porridge, little oatmeal porridge, you know, send a man there, go our hardware, get some board and fix the toilet, make sure the door is working. Because you think to yourself, this should be simple things. Go to the hardware store, get a door, measure it up, get a door put on. Get a
yeah,
toilet that flush, whatever the case may be. Do one on the boys' side, get a couple urinal, whatever's needed. And the lady said she was going to speak to the board, and not a thing, nothing. She said, but then the conversation went. It looks as though they were trying to pave an area where they park cars. So it looked like if your money going around kitty, if you put the money in a kitty, them take the money and do what they want to do with it. Yeah.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
was thinking feeding the pity them and make sure the young girl them no drop through the toilet because there's no seat. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Yeah, but it go already. So Trevor, you got any questions for me? No, you don't have to. It's all right. But I will answer them. No, I'm good.
Wow. So where you living now?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. Just in no
Oh, yeah,
no
that,
no suburbs.
oh,
Yes,
that.
sir. Uh-huh.
Okay, okay. Um, Donald Drummond, I think is down there. I think in Dallas. Past you then.
Donald Trump. Okay, never heard of him.
Donald Drummond. You never
Uh-uh.
heard of him?
No.
he left school like in the 90s, I think like that. Mm.
Okay. All right.
He
Well,
always have this Mannings link up every year um, in New York. A
okay.
younger group there. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Well,
Mm.
give me his number when we get offline. Just send me a text with it, and we'll do that, man. Cool. Cool.
Uh, I don't have his number, but I could get it somewhere from someone.
All
Yeah,
right.
because
Cool. Cool.
they're in the group together.
All right.
So apart from the Texas, so we always talk about giving back. I don't know with Mannings where you stand on that. Or have you done anything like that to
Well,
Mannings give back?
I think giving back is relative.
Yeah.
But it's important that you say this to me. So I don't really see the need. I really don't see the need. But I will say this much. Whenever asked by school friends to contribute, I always spend, I always give. But I don't see it as my right to give back to the school. That I've been to several institutions, and if I was giving back to a school, I'd be giving back to Unity School, something where I can make an impact. Um, I see the whole. So when I look at Unity School, I can see the toilet need fix. Me know say people now, some people don't have some money to buy uniform. Things like that I can see, and I want to, if I want to fix, I can see it. The thing about the man in school, everything looked like a pit, a money pit to me. But that's just
No,
me. That's just me, the
no.
way I see it.
Here's a simple way you can do it. They have a library.
Yeah.
But you go there, you take two, three books and leave it at the library.
Okay.
I tell you, I tell you, and I do what one year I was coming back to Montego Bay. And the custom have is like two sides. One customer is in the middle and you have one side. And so this young lady said to me, I know you. The customer officer was checking me. She said, I know you. I said, you know me? Yeah, you always bringing things from Mannings. I said, yeah, yeah, because so many books you have in the library. so I said, where are you coming from? She said, New York. I said, you bringing the books to the library? I don't think, I said, it's very easy. You can get books here cheap. You know, one, two books get the library. But
Are they utilizing these
at
books?
that situation, the customer officer just say, close my bags and say,
Wow.
okay. Yeah.
Are they utilizing these books?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, hey, Trevor, we're getting up to the hour. I'm really, really blessed that you spent some time with me to talk. I'd
Yeah.
love to get to some of these brass tacks, about, Kamala, Trump. That would really, I want someone to discuss what the 80s were like in Jamaica and why was it like that. Those are the sort of things I want to
Oh, well,
get down.
that's not me. I wasn't there, so
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay.
Well,
But
those are the things I'd
I,
love
I,
to.
well, I used to visit back and forth, so
Cool,
I
cool.
could tell you one now. During the 70s, I was coming up from Montego Bay, and those times they had this financial investigative unit. So everybody's coming up. I know people used to bring their dollars up or send their dollars up and whatever. And this guy, I was going and say he wanted to see my wallet. Somebody want to see my wallet for, you know, want to check. That's what they use, a check to see how much US dollars you come in. I said, I don't have Jamaican money, so why you want to see my wallet?
Right, right.
You know? Yeah, but
Wow.
if you don't want to give your wallet, you're going on a plane.
Hey, so long as you
So,
have to, so long as you have to take out a money and give them while they see your wallet.
well, unknown to me, that's what happened. He took out what he wanted. Because when I came here with my 2 box of rum, I'm ready to the customers that are charging me because you want to love 5 bottles. You know,
Wow. Nice, nice.
I know $200 were gone.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool. All
I
right.
know. I know his name. You know, I know his name and everything. But
How long
I
ago was
tell
it
him,
say you know the man name?
oh yeah, I don't forget that
Wow.
because if I didn't have my credit card at that time, I would lose my rum.
Right, right, right. I see.
And not even my rum, but I bring rum for everybody, for other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
They were very like Gestapo type of people in those days. The FIU people. I remember one time they arrested, they stopped this actor, Spider Lockhart. Yeah,
Wow.
say he was going back with money. While I know politicians who used to get around the system, I'm here, he's there. He want the dollars. He gives someone in Jamaica the Jamaican dollars, and I give his relatives up here the American dollars.
Yep.
That's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy.
uh, mhm.
Anyway, Trevor,
Yeah,
it was a real pleasure, man. Real pleasure. Thank you for your
same
time
here,
here,
man.
sir. Thank you for your time.
Same here. I hope you get something that you wanted to get out of this.
No, definitely, definitely. I'm still feel that there has to be something I'm missing because you seem too cool. There's no were you a sportsman at school?
Yeah,
What sport?
yeah. Football,
Okay, okay. Cool, cool.
football.
All right, well,
Women's house.
okay, all right. So did you
Yeah,
play under 14? Did you go to school with
yeah,
Anton at all?
yeah. I play Colts on the 16, and I play on the Dark Oxford Cup team.
Okay. So was
Yeah.
Anton going to school when you were going to school?
When I went there, it was above me. Mhm.
Oh,
He probably was getting ready to leave school or whatever,
yeah,
but it was above
yeah.
me.
So nobody
Yeah,
know.
and, and,
There's no living man
and,
beating Anton at the moment. He's the elder for everybody.
we used to tell him that what they do, they managed to play on the right side. He used to play on the left side. So they used to play at that time. Let's call it outside left. I said that's where you were. You were left outside because they play. Mary was on the right side, so Mannings was on a one side team. They play over
All
and keep.
right.
Because when he get the ball, he doesn't know what to do with it. But he wanted to he tried to let you know that he was a
Big footballer.
big guy. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. But you know
Just
better.
running more. Just running more. Yeah.
All right, Trevor. You take it easy, boss.
Okay, man.
Thank you very
Nice.
much, man.
Okay.
Respect. Bye.
Bye.